The Mercedes-Benz S-Class has been the benchmark for luxury sedans for decades. It's also been the perfect platform for them to showcase their new innovations and technology. This is the brand new S-Class. This is the S560 from Mercedes, and this has the most technology out of any car that I've driven so far. The exterior of the new S-Class gets some nice new subtle changes. The front gets a new grille, new sporty looking intakes, and new LED headlights. At the back, there's also a new LED crystal-like treatment and the addition of 3 horizontal fiber optic lights. The rear valance gets updated with a full-width chrome treatment. As you would expect in a Mercedes S-Class, the interior it's gorgeous. It is put together so well. All the seams, all the stitching, the different types of materials, they just flow together. You have leather, you have wood. I'm not usually a fan of wood on the steering wheel, but this one it's so smooth. And of course it's heated as well. The seats are heated and cooled. Even the armrests are heated. Up front, you have 2 massive 12-inch screens put together to make your entire instrument panel and your infotainment system. And what I like is that they're behind a piece of glass. They're not touchscreen. You use them with the command module here. You can use the trackpad to enter things in. You have a home button, or you can actually use the dial. The benefit of this, there's no fingerprints. We just had the Cadillac CT6 with the Q system, nice system, but I had a hard time actually getting shots without getting fingerprints because you have to use your fingers. The interior also features customizable colors. You can change the interior lighting up to 64 different colors. Also, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging underneath the glove compartment here. And new for the S-Class, on the steering wheel, you have these 2 capacitive touch buttons. And what they do is they allow you to control the left one for your left screen, the right one for the right screen. You can scroll up and down for your menus, your music. And it's not a wheel, you just kind of like rub up and down, left and right, and they work on a button as well. That's carried over from that real high-tech E-Class. Also, one thing that you just have to take my word for is the stereo system. This is the Burmester sound system. It sounds fantastic. It better because it's almost a $7,000 option. But when you're paying this much for a car, hey, why not go all out? In the back seat, tons of room as you would expect in a full-size luxury vehicle. You can get entertainment systems back there, massaging seats back there. Pretty well, the sky is the limit. Now, when I think of luxury vehicles, there are a couple criteria that come to mind. The first thing, smoothness. And I mean everything has to be smooth. Starting from the power plant. Under the hood, it's a new twin-turbo 4-liter V8 putting out 463 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. That also has an auto start-stop feature. As you can hear right now, we're at a traffic light and it's totally silent. Very, very quiet. And then the smoothness is accentuated because it has a very, very silky smooth 9-speed gearbox. So when it's shifting, it's almost seamless. We're gonna enter on the highway right now. And it's effortless to get this thing up to speed. Believe it or not, 0 to 100K, 4.6 seconds for a huge luxury sedan like this. That's pretty sweet. Of course, for better handling, traction, and inclement weather, this is also equipped with the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. Another thing that's going to make a big difference in smoothness is the suspension. This is equipped with Mercedes-Benz air suspension. We just drove that Cadillac CT6 that had the magnetic ride control, and I can tell you this air suspension does allow you to be a little more plush than that magnetic ride control. Like you really feel like you're kind of floating down the road. It's quiet in here. Now, what's also going to help the suspension work with this vehicle, though, this is really interesting. When this newest S-Class was introduced a few years ago, they had a system that scanned the road surface with stereoscopic cameras. Now, for this 2018 model, this system is being enhanced. It gathers a lot more detail, it scans the road quite far ahead, and works up to 180 kilometers an hour. So what it's doing, it's actually looking for imperfections in the road, and it will adjust the suspension to that. If you're going slow, for instance, even going over like big speed bumps or speed humps or potholes, I'm gonna actually hit some potholes there on purpose. It was seriously, it was effortless. It's so smart. Also, this has active body control. It's something called curve. So when you're cornering, let's say you're doing a sweeping corner, it can tilt the body of the car toward the inside of the turn up to 2.6 degrees, which makes it more comfortable especially for the passengers, but driver and passenger, so you're not tilting as much. The second criteria for a luxury vehicle for me is comfort and ease of use, or just basically providing stress-free driving. Let's start with the seats. First of all, really, really soft, very adjustable seats. If they're too soft, you can stiffen them up. These are massaging seats as well. They're heated, they're cooled. Even the surfaces are heated, so that's really comfortable. Like the armrests are heated, steering wheel's heated. If it's cold, it's fairly cold out today. But they're also dynamic seats too. You can turn on a feature if you have the dynamic option, where when you're cornering or having some spirited driving, the bolsters go and tighten against when you're cornering, providing you a better feel. With better cameras and better radar, this S-Class has what they call Distronic Proximity Assist System. Essentially, it's the Distronic Plus system that's what it used to be called, with steering assist, but now it's really, really enhanced. So what's different about it? Well, first of all, we're on the freeway right now, and I'm gonna let's turn on the cruise control, and let's set it. And we are at 115 kilometers an hour. I'm just gonna pull in to the right lane. So this system really is a semi-autonomous system. I am set right now, I have a green steering wheel, and if I let go of my hands, I'm not on the brake or the gas. It's sensing the vehicle in front of me, and it's telling me to hold on to the wheel or just acknowledge that I'm here, but it's doing an amazing job of keeping the car's distance between me and the dump truck in front of me. Also, keeping the car centered. We're not bouncing around. It's super, super intuitive. And I've always said that Mercedes Distronic Plus system with steering assist, the previous generation, let's say, it was one of the best systems out there. And this is really noticeably better. Another thing that this can do, and it's really good for, is stop and go traffic, which if you're like me, I have to drive in that a lot, especially rush hour traffic, and it just drives me nuts. Well, with this system, you can go stop and go, but with most systems, once it stops, if you stop for more than 3 seconds, you have to hit the accelerator or hit resume for it to start back up. Now, you can go up to 30 seconds, and as long as that car starts moving in 30 seconds, you'll follow that car again. So it just really takes the stress out of that type of driving. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, I wanna drive by myself, I don't want the car to drive for me, Fine, I get it. But what percentage of your driving time during the week involves driving for fun? Unfortunately, most people, you're not driving for fun, you're driving to get to work. You're driving to get somewhere, and it's not a nice drive. It's a nasty drive involving a lot of traffic. And this is where these systems are I just can't wait for them to be, I guess, maybe 3/4 autonomous. It's going to be a long time before you get fully autonomous. That's going to work everywhere, but even 3/4 autonomous. Now, Cadillac with their CT6 that we just tested has the new Super Cruise feature. The one we tested did not have it, but we will be testing it shortly, and that will allow you to take your hands right off the steering wheel for a long periods of time. Now, I'm still not hitting the gas or the brake right now, and as you saw, someone just pulled in front of me, and it really sets the distance really well without slamming on the brakes, or you're not gonna create this huge gap in front of you where people are gonna sneak in, if you know what I mean, when you're driving in traffic. Another new thing for this system, it now uses the maps and navigation system with this system. So, for instance, if I'm going to be in the right lane and I'm going to exit off the freeway, for instance, it knows there's an exit there, and even if I don't put the brakes on, it'll automatically start slowing down for me. It knows, certain corners, exits. It just makes everything so much smoother. You can see every once in a while I'm just touching the steering wheel just to let it know that I'm here. Otherwise, it really is driving by itself. Watch this. So I'm gonna put my right signal on, and it will do a full lane change for me. I'll turn the signal off. Now, that's one thing that the Cadillac system at this point will not do. It will not do active lane changes. We're just floating along here. Of course, if I wasn't doing this review, I would be putting that Burmester stereo system on, hands down. Now I'm going to change lanes again. Now it's scanning the whole area. There we go. It's scanning the whole area, if there's anyone beside me, whether or not it's safe to change lanes. And for safety-wise, let's say you don't heed the warning. So let's just keep going here, and let's go in the right lane. We'll change lanes. It's so smooth, seriously. Okay, so our hands aren't on the steering wheel. Of course, I'm ready to take over at any time. Okay, now it's telling me, put my hands on the steering wheel, put my hands on the steering wheel. And it's starting to blink now. Now, if I don't do anything or take any action, what's gonna happen is that it'll think that there's something wrong. Maybe I have a medical condition, that's why I'm not responding. Maybe I fell asleep, for instance. What it's gonna do is it's gonna scan the area around you, and it'll slowly stop the car. It's not gonna slam the brakes on or anything, but it'll gradually stop the car until help comes. Pretty smart. Of course, the S-Class is full of safety features, way too many to list. Here's a sample video of how the car can help in keeping you safe.
I want to show you in our S-Class brilliant collision avoidance maneuvers. Okay? Let's go in the maneuvers. Our first maneuver, we must do it with two cars. This car and another car. And therefore I must go to the start, tell my colleague to start the other car, and then we will come into the maneuver. So everything okay? You got me? Okay, super. Great. Thank you very much. We will make a U-turn here, and you are buckled up. Yes, driver assistance systems need buckling up. What do we see?
It's caught here.
Oh, sorry! Have a look, I'm on the accelerator.
Yeah.
Hey, you say what will happen? Let me know.
I don't know.
What will happen?
We'll crash. We will crash.
Hey, it braked, and when the car was through, the brakes went open. The car behind us was not irritated, but it was only braked as long as necessary. Masterpiece of intelligence. You liked it?
I liked it.
So far, this is the best system that I've tried. I have not tried, though, the Super Cruise, as I had mentioned, nor have I tried the Tesla Autopilot. This was flawless. It really, really was flawless. As for what is this vehicle like compared to the CT6 that I just drove last week, I really like the CT6. You know what? I think that Mercedes still has a one-up for sure in this class of vehicle. The refinement, the quietness, the materials. This is a lot more expensive vehicle though. You know, so I want to say though, like the CT6 it's a different class of vehicle. It doesn't have as classic of a look as the Mercedes does. It has a more modern look and feel, which it is nice. I do like the CT6. I still like the CT6 after driving this S-Class. I think it's the smooth and quietness of this vehicle that really does it for me. It is just, it's so refined. I think the easiest way to describe the S-Class, it's like flying in business class, but on 4 wheels. It's so comfortable that it really takes you away from the outside world that you don't really care if there's a delay or if it's going to take you longer to get somewhere. It's just a real treat. The only problem though, just like flying first class, is that once you've experienced it, you don't want to go back to economy. Regardless how many SUVs or crossovers are sold these days, there still is no replacement for a full-size luxury sedan like this S-Class. And Mercedes, regardless of the decline in sales of sedans, have continued to develop all these new innovations and technologies and putting it into their flagship sedan. This thing has everything. This is the real deal. And in my opinion, it still is the benchmark in the luxury sedan market and will be for many more years to come. This really is not just a stress-free vehicle, this is a stress-free environment. That's what, there should be a sign here. No stress allowed in here, because when you're sitting here, you can just really, really enjoy it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.